Recorded Books presents The Liar's Crown by Abigail Owen, narrated by Samara Naeymi with Luis Moreno. Prologue. Once Upon a Curse. 18 years ago. The first cry of a newborn infant pierced the heavy night air, and the women in the room heaved a collective sigh of relief, except for Hesperia. She checked the shadows instead. Was the king watching, lurking, confirming that she completed the task he had commanded? As a sand nymph, Hesperia was called upon to bless newborn life in the dominion of Erid. She had been coming to the palace for centuries. On behalf of the goddess of this dominion, she had sanctified the birth of every royal child. The women in the room would assume she was a revered acolyte, skin painted in the colors of the deserts from which her kind were made. They didn't know she was also a spy, or that the reason she'd come tonight had nothing to do with blessings. After severing the umbilical cord, the midwife cleaned and wrapped the child in a soft blanket, but she didn't give the baby to its mother, wife of the crown prince, who was still sitting, limp and coated in sweat, legs splayed open on the birthing stool. Instead, the child was passed to the Queen of Erid, Hesperia's sovereign, technically. Only Hesperia didn't serve this queen. She served him. Eidolon, the king of Tindra, a cold and brutal man lurking under the veneer of a charming liar. "What is it?" the mother demanded past chalky lips, as a servant wiped her brow with a clean linen dipped in cool water. The queen didn't even glance her way. Instead, she stared at her precious legacy, so tiny, hardly a wisp. "A girl," she said, in a voice much harsher than the moment should warrant. "The Princess Tabra Eutheria I of Erid." "A girl?" the mother sobbed. "But my husband wanted a boy." The queen's narrowed blue eyes sharpened. "My dead son wanted a boy," she sneered. "Queens are what keep this dominion alive." Judging by the state of the desert dominion under her reign, Hesperia wasn't so sure about that. Erid had become a poorer and more desperate place to live. However, she'd foolishly pledged herself to the wrong sovereign long ago, so to her, none of that mattered. At the queen's nod, Hesperia stepped forward. She bent over the child, an Imperium just like all the queens before her. This one could sense she was infernai, one with a rare soul ability passed down only through this line. The one the king wanted, the one she'd been ordered to curse. Hesperia started to whisper over the child, but she only got a few words out before the glimmer of a rare vision stopped her. A horror of a future flashed across her mind, a chilling warning of the world she would help create if she kept going. She jerked back. Was this the future that the king had planned? Eidolon had grown more desperate in recent years, and for reasons he would not share, he wanted this particular Inferni bound to him the moment her powers manifested. Behind her, the mother moaned, doubling over her still swollen belly, and shock whispered through the helpers in a series of gasps. Another baby. Unlike the others, Hesperia wasn't surprised. This line of royals had twin queens every other generation, the best-kept secret of Erid. Her mind spun for a different reason, because of the vision she'd just seen, and a new possibility. "Do I dare defy him?" The queen thrust the firstborn closer. "Finish your rite." Hesperia made her choice, and instead of the curse she whispered a simple blessing and marked the child's forehead with her fourth finger. When she finished, she slowly backed away, fighting to hide a tremble threatening to take hold of her body at the realization of what she had done, and what she was about to do. Did he see? He seemed weaker lately. Maybe he wasn't watching from the shadows. Regardless, she knew she'd sealed her own fate. She listened as violent screams ripped through the mother's throat, one after the other, a symphony to her own damnation. "The babe is turned," the midwife said to the queen. "I must move it right away or we'll lose both the mother and the child."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?